Well, folks, we've got Linkin Park, and this is a remix album. So, by 2002, their debut album, Hybrid Theory, I think a lot of people were kind of anticipating something new from them. And, if you want the truth, here's something to know. When you drop a hit, you're going to be looking for something that keeps the momentum going, because if you let the heat die down, a lot of people will move on to something else, and it's hard to rekindle it instead of just, you know, acting upon something. So what happened was, Hybrid Theory came out in October 2000, but their second album, Meteora, didn't come out until March of 2003. So obviously, once the singles of Hybrid Theory wore off somewhere in 2001, and that album was the top-selling album of the year, it was kind of like, well, what are they up to, June of 2002, November 2002, February 2003. And that was the whole thing. So within that area, you got this album, which is a remix album called Reanimation. Now, the thing about it is it basically remixes every song off of Hybrid Theory, in addition to two extra songs, which you have to find some sort of deluxe version of the album in order to get it. Now, these songs are High Voltage and My December. There's actually 14 songs on Hybrid Theory. But here's the thing. With this album, a lot of these songs sound a lot different. It's not rap rock, and the direction of this project tackles something that you would hear at possibly a rave or a party with DJs and a lot of dancing. So this is the kind of stuff that gets a little bit more manic. It's not, rock and rap rock kind of is more just going nuts, but this is more, finding a place to go. You can jam in your backyard to rock, but this is not backyard music. It's more of like in a place that you would hear music featured. So that is the thing about this project. I didn't have a problem with it. I attempted listening to this album on Spotify, and I did not like it when I first heard it, but the switch has been almost a direct 180. So what that means is that this is a good album. These hip-hop style, electronic and dance style type music fits Linkin Park pretty damn good. And so that's just a brief thing. There was only one single released from this project, and it was kind of difficult to do it because they're basically just re-releasing songs that were brand new the year before. So something to know, but here we go. So with the production on here, a few of the songs that I liked were My December. I also liked By Myself. I think that's how you say it. If you look at, when you see the names of these songs, they are not pronounced like, By Myself would be the word by and then the word by myself, but they're spelled differently. They're kind of like in some sort of futuristic, kind of odd I can't think of the word. I was gonna say disarrayed, but disorienting style. So just know that when you look at these, you might not be able to pronounce them until you find a place that tells you the songs of what they're trying to remix. So that is something. I'm also I wish that the song In the End would have been better, because I love the production on that song. One of the best piano beats that, the way that song turned out. I think Linkin Park could have went pretty far making a replica of that instrumental or something, but the remix did not do it justice, and I kind of credit it as a song I'm on the fence about, but I would much rather, that's a song that I prefer the original to. all these other ones work extremely well. So I'm trying to think of some other ones that did this. I feel like Runaway was another one. Place for My Head. These really have like thumping. Most of these songs are not slow. Only the last songs on the album, Cure for the Itch, and One Step Closer, and Crawling at the very end, those kind of slow things down, but most of these are kind of something that you're going to want to move about to. That's another thing to know, is that this is not a, gentle album. It's definitely got energy to it, but it's not in the rock formula. You just have to you're going to hear some rock traces, but it's not so much full of it. But, alright, the unheard songs. So there's really only 13 songs on this project, and of those, so there's 6 skits, for one thing, because there were 14 songs off Hybrid Theory, but the song Cure for the Itch, I don't think that has vocals on it, so that means you got 13. And so out of those 13, I liked 8 of them, which is pretty good. That's about, I'll get to the score shortly, but it would have been 9, I might add. It was very close to being 9. The In the End song, voice keeps cracking. The In the End song would have been another one, but I told you why. So here are the ones that I liked. Basically, I like By Myself, My December. These are songs you need to hear, by the way. Runaway, Paper Cut, With You, Place for My Head, Pushing Me Away, and Points of Authority. Now, all of these, I definitely feel like you need to give a shot pretty soon. So don't miss out on those great songs. They just go nuts. It's a different, one thing I will say, it's a different semblance than their first album. So if you're like this sort of crowd, if you were to say, you've got friends who like Linkin Park with you, but then you try this, it kind of feels it's just a different style. It's like trying to get your rap friends to like rock, and your rock friends, this sort of thing. Yeah, there may be some transition where it's not as, some people may say, fuck it, let's just play the original Linkin Park. So it's simply a different style. I don't want to, make it sound like I'm being all-knowing, but, most of these songs are not rock. So that's the one thing to know, is it's, like I said, it's almost a 180 from their style that they've done before. You need to take a breath. So the score, I'm going to give this, because I liked 8 out of 13, almost 9 out of 13. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Because, if it would have been 10 out of 13, I probably would have given it a 10. But, that's still almost half of the album, which half, it definitely needs to be more. But a 7 is not bad. That's just like, better than middle of the road. So, the future Linkin Park, who knows what they'll be doing. They dropped an album in 2014, which I have reviewed. And so, is this album social? I'm going to give it a 6 social, which means how well it plays around you in a group. It's because there wasn't a lot of singles with this project, and also it's something new. So you have to try something new in order to work with it. Now, obviously, if you've heard the later Linkin Park releases, which I have not listened to that much, it might be an easier trip, but it just depends upon what you've heard from Linkin Park. So that's one thing. And can it be topped? I think the answer is not quite, but this was enough of an experiment for me that actually worked. Trying something that's left field is definitely a good thing to do when it works. Now, you have to get it, put your foot out there, put your foot in the door in order to do it. But I did enjoy this. So this is a worthy, stopgap between their first and second albums, and it's just as fun as Hybrid Theory or Meteora. So know that. Subscribe for more fun. I give this album a 7 and a 6 social.